Let me start with a simple truth. You don't have a money problem. You have a thinking problem. Let that sit for a moment. You see, if we handed $1 million to someone with a poor mindset, they'd lose it in a year. But hand the same million to someone who thinks like a millionaire, and they'll double it before you can blink. Why? Because wealth is not a bank balance. It's a mindset. It's not the numbers in your account. It's the habits in your mind. Now I know what you're thinking, but Jim, how do I think like a millionaire if I'm broke? Well, let me tell you, you start before the money ever shows up. You train your mind first, and your circumstances will follow. Let me give you 6 ways to train your mind like a millionaire. Wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your thinking. Most people believe their financial problems are due to a lack of income, opportunity, or luck. But the truth is, money is rarely the root issue. It's how we think about money, success, and ourselves that determines the outcomes we experience. You can hand someone a fortune, but if they don't have the mindset to manage and grow it, they'll lose it. On the other hand, give a person with a wealthy mindset limited resources, and they'll find a way to multiply them. Your thoughts shape your habits, and your habits shape your results. If you're constantly thinking in terms of scarcity, I can't afford that, or I'm just not lucky like others, then you'll subconsciously act in ways that reinforce that scarcity. But if you begin thinking like a creator, like a problem solver, like someone who is responsible for their outcomes, your entire approach to life shifts. The mind is the command center of your future, and the quality of your thoughts directly impacts the quality of your life. This is why training your mind is more important than chasing quick money. A poor mindset will sabotage even the best opportunities. But a trained, growth-oriented mind will find a way forward even when the odds are against you. You don't wait to think like a millionaire after the money arrives. You think like one before, and that mindset becomes the magnet that attracts the right decisions, habits, and opportunities. Wealthy people aren't lucky. They're prepared, and that preparation starts internally. If you want to change your life, don't just change your actions. Change your thoughts, because your bank account will never exceed the limits of your mindset. Most people live in the moment, not in a meaningful, present kind of way, but in a short-sighted, reactionary way. They think about the weekend, the next paycheck, or what they can afford today. Millionaires, however, train their minds to look beyond the immediate. They think in decades, not days. They ask themselves, how will this decision impact me 5 years from now? That long-term thinking shapes their discipline, their investments, and their daily habits. Thinking long-term doesn't mean delaying joy or living with scarcity. It means making decisions that compound over time. It means understanding that planting seeds today leads to harvest tomorrow. A person with a millionaire mindset is constantly evaluating what builds their future, not just what feels good in the moment. They resist the trap of instant gratification because they understand the cost. Every dollar wasted, every hour mindlessly spent, is a missed brick in the foundation of their long-term vision. This mindset requires clarity. If you don't have a clear vision for your future, you'll fall into the habit of making short-term choices. You'll trade what you want most for what you want now. Millionaire minds don't do that. They set goals, create plans, and let those plans dictate their daily behavior. They don't ask, can I afford this today? They ask, does this bring me closer to where I want to be 10 years from now? When you train your mind to think long-term, you begin to rise above the chaos. You stop chasing trends and start building real wealth that grows, sustains, and lasts. The future belongs to those who plan for it. Millionaires know that. They live with vision, and they act with purpose. And that's what separates the wealthy from the merely busy. One of the most powerful differences between those who build wealth and those who stay stuck is how they use their time. Specifically, what they feed their minds. Most people spend hours every day being entertained, scrolling through social media, watching shows, or consuming content that adds nothing to their growth. Millionaires make a different choice. They understand that what you feed your mind determines what it produces. Just like you wouldn't expect your body to thrive on junk food, you can't expect your mind to produce success on a steady diet of distraction. People with a millionaire mindset actively seek knowledge. They read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and surround themselves with people who challenge them to grow. They don't just learn for the sake of learning. They learn to improve, to sharpen their decision making, and to stay ahead. While others are watching the latest episode of a show, the wealthy are studying trends, refining their skills, and feeding their minds with ideas that push them forward. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. Every hour spent learning is an investment. Every lesson absorbed becomes a tool they can use to build something greater. Over time, those small inputs compound just like money does. A few minutes each day spent learning can completely transform the way you think, act, and succeed. Entertainment is easy. Growth takes effort. That's why so few choose it. But those who do, those who discipline themselves to learn, gain an edge that others can't see until it's too late. Millionaires don't waste time numbing their minds, they sharpen them. And in a world that moves fast and rewards innovation, a sharp mind is more valuable than any short-term pleasure. Your future will reflect what you feed your mind today. Choose wisely. One of the most defining traits of a millionaire mindset is taking full responsibility for your life. It's easy to blame the economy, your upbringing, your boss, or your circumstances. But that kind of thinking keeps you stuck. People who build real wealth don't waste energy pointing fingers. They understand a fundamental truth. If you're not in charge of your life, then who is? The moment you take full responsibility, no excuses, no blaming, no waiting. You take back your power. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your opportunity. You may not control what happens to you, but you absolutely control how you respond. That response determines your trajectory. When you adopt the mindset that you are responsible for your future, you stop waiting for permission. You stop hoping someone will come and rescue you. You realize no one is coming, and that's a good thing, because that means it's all in your hands. Millionaires don't sit around hoping the world becomes easier. They become stronger. They face their mistakes. They own their failures. They ask, what did I learn? And how can I do better next time? That kind of thinking builds resilience, discipline, and character, all of which are more valuable than a lucky break. Responsibility is uncomfortable at first because it forces you to look inward, but that's exactly where transformation begins. The moment you stop outsourcing your life to other people or external conditions, you begin to shape it intentionally. That's the shift that changes everything. You go from being a victim of circumstances to the architect of your future. If you want to build a millionaire life, start by owning everything. Your time, your choices, your mindset. That's the foundation of power. And without power, you can't build anything that lasts. Success doesn't happen by accident. It's not a lottery ticket, and it's not something you stumble into. It's something you design. Deliberately, thoughtfully, and consistently. Millionaires know this. They don't rely on luck. They rely on structure. Behind every successful person is a set of decisions, habits, and beliefs that have been chosen on purpose. They have a vision for what they want, and they engineer their lives to match that vision. Designing success means getting clear on where you're going and building systems to get there. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals, even when they're tempting. It's waking up each day with intention, not just reacting to whatever shows up. People who achieve real wealth aren't floating through life. They're building it like architects. Blueprint first, then bricks, one by one. This mindset requires discipline. It's far easier to drift. It's easier to follow the crowd, to copy what others are doing, to hope that if you just work hard enough, things will magically improve. But hope is not a strategy. Millionaire thinkers don't just work hard. They work smart with purpose. They plan their finances, guard their time, and choose their influences carefully. Every move they make is guided by a larger picture. It may not be glamorous, and it definitely isn't instant, but designing success is what makes it sustainable. Fast wins fade. Intentional growth lasts. When you live by design, not by default, you're no longer at the mercy of your environment. You become the creator of your reality. That's the difference. Wealthy people don't hope to succeed. They build systems, set standards, and shape environments that make success inevitable. You don't need luck. You need a blueprint, and it starts with the decision to live on purpose. The mind is just like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you train it. Most people don't realize that their mindset is shaping every part of their life. Every belief, every habit, every reaction comes from the way their mind has been conditioned. If you don't intentionally train your thinking, the world will do it for you, and often in ways that lead to fear, doubt, and limitation. Millionaires understand this, which is why they commit to training their minds every single day. Just like you wouldn't expect a strong body without regular exercise, you can't expect a strong mindset without consistent effort. Wealthy individuals feed their minds with empowering thoughts, challenging ideas, and information that pushes them to grow. They understand that what you focus on, you become. That's why they're careful with what they read, who they listen to, and how they spend their time. They guard their mental environment as carefully as they guard their money. This daily mental training might look like reading books, journaling, visualizing goals, or simply reflecting on their decisions and habits. It's a constant process of self-awareness and self-improvement. They don't wait for motivation, they create it. They don't hope for confidence, they build it by facing hard things and learning from them. Over time, this consistent training rewires how they think, how they respond to challenges, and how they see opportunities. What separates those who achieve lasting success from those who struggle isn't talent, it's how they think. A trained mind sees solutions where others see problems. It stays calm under pressure. It stays focused when distractions show up. The good news is, anyone can develop this. You don't need to be born with it, but you do need to work at it. Because when your mind is strong, your results will follow.